I forgot to start recording this ahead of time, but this is my dough for my English muffin. In this, I activated my yeast first. Amber, can you pass me that?
Yes.
Yeast right there. I activated my yeast first, which I 1 tablespoon of the active dry yeast, and I added to 1 cup of warm water. Now, I did it twice because my first yeast wasn't activated. But what I did was I didn't add any sugar to it first, and I think I made the water too. Let me push this back up. I made the water just a tad bit too hot, and it wasn't activating for me. And this is the first one. So what I did was I turned around and I put a little sugar in it. But at the same time of me doing that, I turned around and I made a second batch of it, and it activated for me right away. So I end up not using the first one. I went with the second one, so I can just show y'all this. But this is the active yeast, and when it foams up like this, that's when you know that your yeast is active and ready to be used. Now, you can get instant dry yeast. Well, just I think it's called instant, where you don't mix it with anything. You just put it straight in whatever recipe that you're using. But this was active yeast that I needed to do a little extra with the water and everything. So that was my yeast. Then I let me move this back out my way. With my dough, I use 4 to 5 cups of bread flour. This is the brand that I use for my bread flour. Y'all, I'm a little organized here, but that's the bread flour I used. And I used 2 tablespoons of sugar. I used, 1 cup of milk. Now, I took my milk and I put my milk on the stove for a few minutes, and I warmed the milk up and I let the sugar dissolve in the milk. I let that cool down, and then I took 1/4 cup of shortening, which I melted. And once everything was cooled down and everything, I put everything in my mixer. Make sure I got everything. And I also added 1 teaspoon. So 1 teaspoon? No, I used a 1/2 teaspoon, because this is going to be a fairly big English muffin I'm attempting to make here. So I added everything, all the ingredients, to my mixer. I have the bread hook attachment here. You don't have to use the bread hook attachment. Yeah, I got flour everywhere, y'all, excuse me. But you don't have to use the bread attachment hook if you don't have it. You can just use the paddle or whatever. But I'd rather use this because it saves the process of me having to knead the dough and everything when it's done. So now, when I get done with this, I'm going to take it out, knead it just a little bit more with my hand. Then I'm going to put it in a slightly oiled bowl, and I'm going to cover it and let it sit until it rises. Once it rises, I'm going to take it out. I'm going to put it in my pan that I have that's going to be the size of the English muffin that I'm going to make. What you do with my pan, girl? Wow, here you go. So I know most of y'all have one of these, but it's just this is the size of the toast. Bit organized right now, but that's the size that this English muffin that I'm attempting to try to make is going to be. Not that tall, but about that wide. So after I let it rise for the first time, I'm going to take it out from there, and then I'm going to put it in here and let it rise some more. Okay? So once I get to the process, I'll let you guys see it. Okay, y'all, so here's my dough. I let it sit now for an hour. Of course, y'all can see it has risen. So I'm just gonna push it down like that. It's hard, y'all. I'm still waiting for my tripod to come. So this is really hard trying to hold this thing like this. Okay. I'm gonna take this out of here. I'm gonna flatten it out a little bit. Take that, sit that in my pan like so. See, y'all, this is the size it's gonna be. So I'm gonna cover this and let it sit 30 more minutes, and we're gonna cook it. But now, while I got this sitting, I'm gonna take my eggs, crack my eggs. I got a dozen eggs that I need to separate. So let me do this. We're gonna stir like that. We're gonna push this out my way. Y'all, I have 12 eggs. I have to separate 12 eggs. So I'm gonna put my egg whites, egg yolks. So let's go. My assistant over here slow as hell. She just standing here looking. But I'm going to put a link in the description of where I got the idea from. And they do a lot of extraordinary things. Like they're bodying the whole McDonald's menu, actually, and supersized items. So of course I did a video. Hold on, you guys, I did a video of the giant hash brown first attempt, which was an epic fail, which I also will put a link to that video in the description below. I'm not a quitter. If I start something, I usually try to finish it. So that hash brown kind of got me. And I was real upset about the turnout of it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it again. So, I'm trying it again. Hopefully this one be a success. You keep it out? My friend, so I've been friends with since about the 4th grade, I want to say, is going to come over and enjoy this meal on camera for y'all. Because like I say, I don't eat it. Plus, I'm doing a fast right now. I know y'all usually see Amber on the camera eating, doing the mukbangs, but the channel is called The Roommates. And Amber isn't the only person that's here. And of course, I didn't want my channel to just be about Amber, because it's not called The Amber Show. It's called The Roommates. And I do have friends and family members that come over. And a lot of them used to come over a lot to see me cook. Or, well, not to see me cook, but to eat the foods that I cook. Because I love cooking. But, of course, I don't cook as much anymore. And plus, a lot of them don't eat the foods that I eat anymore anyway. So, here's my yolks. Here's my whites. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to make a egg, like replicating the McDonald's egg that be on the McMuffin. So how I'm going to do that, of course, they use egg molds and things like that, and I don't have that. So I'm improvising. Of course, I'm going to use a pan like that my dough is in to bake it in the oven. But to do my yolk part, I'm going to make a mold using aluminum foil. Can't go wrong with aluminum foil. Aluminum foil goes in the oven. And I'm going to let it cook for a little bit. And once it gets just a little firm and this gets to looking how I want it to look, then I'm going to take it out, take that mold out, and let it finish cooking. So I don't know how big, when you cooking a whole dozen of eggs, how tall it's gonna come to, but I want my mold to be tall enough. So and this mold is only just to separate the egg whites from the yolk as it's cooking. I don't know, y'all. That might be what. That might be a little too wide. So let's see. I got this idea from a guy I seen also on YouTube who has a channel who was making replica of McDonald's hash browns, and he used the aluminum foil to make his mold for his to take the shape of the hash brown. So I was like, that's a good idea, instead of me going and buying all of this these equipment and stuff like that right now. I guess eventually I will get it, you know, because I do want to do other videos, and I want my channel to be versatile. I want to do a lot of things. Of course, I want to continue with the mukbangs, but I also want to do other things. Like I want you guys to follow my journey with this weight loss and this 40-day fast that I'm trying to conquer. Like I say, y'all, I ain't no quitter, so I'm holding in here. I've had some hungry days, but when I get hungry, I drink me some juice or something like that. But I'm not eating any solids. I will not eat any solids, y'all, for this 40 days. So, of course, you guys seen how big that pan is. So, this is what my egg yolk is going to go in. I'm going to pour the egg whites in the pan. And then I'm going to sit this here and pour my egg yolk here. So it can eventually take the shape of, or it can be a replica of the McDonald's egg. So when I get ready to do that, you guys, hopefully it works. Your girl improvising over here. Okay, I didn't do a whole long, lengthy video either about the hash brown process because I did one before, and of course, like I said, it was an epic fail. I did everything that I did in the previous video with the hash browns. Only thing different that I did with this one was I boiled my water. I didn't saute the potato on the stove. I boiled the water, bring it to a rapid boil with 2 tablespoons of sugar in the water and 2 teaspoons of Himalayan pink sea salt. And once it came to a rapid boil, I put the potatoes in there and I let them boil for about anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes. You don't want to cook the potatoes. You just want to do like a parboil so they don't be mushy, because if you overcook them, it's going to be mushy. So after I did that, I took them, put them in some cold water to stop the cooking process. Then I drained all the water out like I did in the previous video, the epic fail. And I mixed everything in there. This time I did use 2 eggs because I wanted to hold. Hopefully it holds this time. You guys seen how I had to improvise with my deep frying pan. So, of course, I'm going to use that method again. But this time, because it was like the hash brown wasn't cooking. It wasn't breathing because the pan that I used, the deep fryer pan that I had made, wasn't big enough to allow the potatoes to breathe and cook. So, it was just like they was soaking in the grease. So I got bigger pans and drilled my holes in them like I did in the epic fail video. And hopefully this time it worked. Hopefully there's enough room for my potato to breathe and it can deep fry and not smother in the grease. So hopefully it worked this time. I'm also even considering putting it in the oven. So I don't know. I'll see how that works after I get to that process. But it's a replica of the McDonald's hash brown. McDonald's don't bake their hash brown, so I don't want to bake. I'm trying to stay away from it, but I don't want the hash brown to fall apart. So, guess we'll see when we get there. Okay, let me move on to my next process. I already give me that pan so I can let them see my sausage. So here, when I first started this process, I took my sausage, which was Tennessee Pride mild sausage. I took 2 packs, which I think is a pound a piece, which is a lot of freaking meat. But I mashed it together like you would do with a ground meat or something if you was making meatballs or a homemade hamburger or something. I did it like that. Then I put it in here and I pretty much just molded it. And I put it in here because, of course, this is the shape I'm going. The shape and the size I'm going of the entire McMuffin. So I put it in here to mold it, and then I'm going to take it and I'm going to fry it on top of the stove. So I just had it sitting there waiting for me until I can get to it. Cover this back up because I don't want a lot of air to get to it. I don't know. Y'all, I be sitting here some days and I be just in my own little world, and I go off into me a song. I make up my own songs too, y'all. It's kind of crazy. Okay. Here's my hash brown. It still needs time to freeze. Put that back. It still needs more time to freeze, but it's not as soft as it was. So it's only been in there about 30 minutes. So this still got a long way to go in the freezer. Maybe about an hour. I'm gonna give it about an hour. I'm gonna let it sit in the freezer. Then we're gonna deep fry this thing. Okay, y'all, here's my dough. Remember, y'all, you're not making a loaf of bread. You're making an English muffin. English muffin is kind of thin. Thin and good. I do remember that. So, we're going to get ready to start making this so I can have this out the way. Okay? Y'all, it's about to rain, rain, rain. Yes, it's been so hot. Give it to me. Rain down on me. So, I'm going to spray this a little bit. And of course, you need cornmeal. You know how the English muffins have that little grainy feel on the outside? That's because they use cornmeal in the cooking process. So I just sprinkle a little on there. I think my pan is hot, y'all. Not a lot of oil, just a little bit. And then I'm gonna, oh, that rain sound good. I'm gonna sprinkle a little cornmeal in here too. I'm gonna cook this on medium heat, not too high, and this only gotta cook for about maybe about 5 minutes on each side, y'all. muffin, y'all. Okay, y'all. I'm turning this off and I'm gonna take it out of here and sit it over here on my pan that I got lined with parchment paper. So this can cool off and I can move on to my next step. I'm gonna let this cool. You see it's not really finished in there because I'm gonna put this in the oven. I'm gonna open it, cover each side with butter, and then I'm gonna put it in the oven. It's gonna be yummy. Okay, y'all, I'm splitting my English muffin in half. Covered it in butter. Now I'm about to stick it in the oven. Let it get a golden brown. Then we're gonna move on to the next step. This are just popping. I was gonna stick my finger in there. No way. Alright, y'all. Moment of truth. Hope I don't have another epic fail. If I do, I don't know what's the next method of trying this. Oh, no, 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 no. Please don't do it. Okay, there we go. Thank you. I got a mess to clean today. I got grease everywhere. I think it might work this time. Just about finished. What y'all think, y'all? Think your girl did it? Do it look like the McDonald's sausage, egg, and cheese McMuffin? What you think? Let me spin that for y'all. Of course, the sausage shrink down a little. I shouldn't have done it the way I did, but now I know, which I already knew that it was gonna shrink, but I didn't think it was gonna shrink that much. I thought everything was gonna come out equal size, so